Despite major efforts, homelessness numbers are up in the Inland Empire. But there's one group that's making an effort there to make a difference through a lot of persistence. And our Joe Kwan joins us now to share how an organization called SWAG is getting thousands of homeless people off the streets. Joe.
Giselle, you mentioned persistence there, and they do that as well as they had to get comfortable with rejection. It's something that a lot of us aren't comfortable with, but that is sort of the key to their success in helping thousands of people in the Inland Empire. You're going to meet someone who actually was once homeless, who's now helping people living in the streets where he used to be.
Try to save somebody's life.
His motivation anytime Blaine Carillo hits the streets of Lake Elsinore. Blaine works for a group called Social Work Action Group, or SWAG. The mission, to help the homeless. It's personal for Blaine.
That was once me in the streets.
He was homeless for 15 years. Blaine turned to drugs to cope with childhood abuse. He was addicted to meth, lived under a tree in Paris for a decade, then lived here in this abandoned electric box for years.
SWAG came out, and they just kept coming out, kept coming out, and I was like, man, like I would move locations and they would find me.
This went on for a year, but his son was about to be born, so Blaine says he was ready for a change. SWAG was his answer.
They never gave a hope up in me.
He got clean, sober now for 5 years, started volunteering for the company, and now Blaine is an employee. He's doing outreach here, talking to a woman who's been living on the street for a few years with her husband and dog.
I know work out. I mean, we all need help. I've been there.
They spend time. Nothing is rushed. It's a time to connect with both her and her husband.
You have to be willing to address that.
The couple is dealing with addiction and have refused help in the past. But SWAG is all about building rapport and trust over time. And on this day, Blaine and coworker David Reyes have made progress. The couple has agreed to accept help.
We truly care about our people, and they are so much more than life on the streets.
Despite the offer of a fully furnished room like this with AC and a kitchen plus food, SWAG co-founder Aaron Petroff says the answer is often no.
Our data shows that it takes about 13 attempts on our part, to connect with somebody and get them to take, the next step.
Rejection is part of the job, but since 2017, SWAG has helped more than 3,100 people get off the street. The Anchor is a crisis stabilization housing complex owned by the city of Elsinore, but operated by SWAG. This is where homeless people can stay while SWAG helps them get into rehab or other treatments.
Most social work programs is, here's our box, you need to fit into it, or, somebody else will, have a nice life. But we're dealing with people who, have severed ties with their family, friends, deep in their addiction. So we work around them and say, how can we help you?
SWAG never gives up. Blaine is proof of it, and now he's got the same philosophy.
You can tell me no 100 times, I'll keep coming out.
A drive to help people get out of a situation he was once in too.
And, SWAG is a nonprofit, and they did just receive a grant from the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians, about $60,000 grant to continue doing the work that they do, focusing in on the Inland Empire.
Well, and it seems it's not a one-fits-all kind of program. They go in and customize to the needs of those folks, and persistence is key, but they also do provide those wraparound services.
Yeah, what they do is they go back to the people on the streets. They know them by name. They say, hey, Joe, hey, XYZ. They know these people, and they know the types of troubles that they're going through, so they'll check them in. There's a process in the Inland Empire where you have to actually call a number to tell the county that you want help, and that's when the process starts happening. And Giselle, what they do is they tell them that they got to go through a physical screening. There are certain steps, bureaucracy when it comes to helping people who are in need of these services. Then they have to get a psychiatric screening. And that's when the waiting begins, because they have to connect them to a more long-term solution. The average wait goes from days to weeks, but they had a person there who was elderly that was there for 4 months before she actually found help. So they're the position where this person decided, I want to change my life. They bring them in, let them sort of unwind, get off whatever they're on, which most of them, I was told, they're on fentanyl because it's cheap and easy to make, and the high lasts such a long time. They're seeing this persistence. And then they get to a more permanent situation such as rehab or mental health services, whatever it is. But this is the place where they can go in the meantime.
Well, over 3,000 people off the streets because of SWAG, and it seems like a very human program that's addressing real needs with wraparound services. Thank you, Joe.
A different approach.
Yeah, different approach that seems to be working, and we should look at all of those different approaches. Thanks so